Abusian mo bibi akoba fambra 2K News and Blogs so abusian ba ne say NHS nsema hodo a ekoso e wo Ghana ase ne in the various political parties e wo Ghana ase ne aboabo no there ba be so mo e wo channel we so make us channel ni 2K News and Blogs abusian e be ko ni akwa akọ video ni akwa akọ tie nsem ne pan yi amesa so ada ruma obu ni ndi kwa so anse ne be kwa akọ he so when you subscribe here now subscribe there mam we are now the bell notification icon so to say be ya abrebia no be drop video pe binye bia hentem so we are no flip free so beche wadwen comment section dey hotie e be ken kan dey awano ahye amofofo so e bia he abusia mem person me kasa be wapi yenko yinkwiti sanse mu ntimu pai
Jin Mensa.
Yes. In fact, it was before you yesterday.
Yes, yesterday I was in the chamber and I needed to attend a workshop organized by the Auditor General. We shall be going around for the 2023 Auditor General's report, and usually the committee, the Public Accounts Committee, anytime we have to start, we have a workshop with the Auditor General to take us through, some of their findings, why they arrived at where they arrived at. And so I went there for the workshop. By the time I got back to Parliament, they were winding up. But I did make some statements to the listening of Jin Mensa, Dr. Bosman Asare, and the other NPP activists. These are all NPP activists who unfortunately have been appointed by President Nana Addo to manage the affairs of elections in this country. The fact that I didn't say it in the mic, that is why it can't be recorded officially. But the point I made was that I told them that they have moral duty and a responsibility to ensure that the elections we are going into are conducted in a fair, peaceful, and transparent manner. That if their misconduct unfortunately leads to chaos and anarchy, they won't be able to escape it. That is a fact. If your misconduct unfortunately leads to something, don't think that you absolve yourself of any blame. And I'm saying this because, if you check, almost all the conflicts we have had in Africa in these contemporary times have something to do with electoral processes. Many people are not even aware that the Liberian conflict started remotely with an electoral process where they did an elections in a particular presidential candidate got 100%. And the votes he got were more than even the entire population of Liberia. I mean, I got to do this when I was writing my thesis. In fact, my thesis was actually on conflicts and so the effects of social infrastructure development in Africa, and I used Liberia. So I went there, I had access to a lot of documents. And it has something to do with that. Sierra Leone, it has to do with, once again, electoral processes. Liberia, Ivory Coast, we are all aware, it has to do with electoral processes. Many countries, we have seen what happened in Mali, electoral processes. Even in Burkina, people demonstrated or showed some resentment as a result of the outcomes of the elections and the conduct of those who manage elections in those countries. So, in many of these African countries, the challenges for which reason those countries unfortunately plunge into chaos and anarchy were started as a result of the conduct of managers of the electoral processes. So the Electoral Commissioner and her two deputies have a moral duty and a responsibility. There is no denying the fact that Jin Mensa is an NPP activist. There's no question at all about that. You remember, when she was appointed, I said she was a family member to the wife of the president. Kweku Baku sat on news file and said I was lying. Kweku Baku has spoken, and everybody went to sleep. Only for it to be proven in court that she was indeed a family member of Rebecca Akufo-Addo. So I have an issue. She was appointed to engage in theft of electoral process. Now you have Dr. Bosman Asare. He was my head of department at the Political Science Department. I have said that a very good lawyer, but a disastrous deputy electoral commissioner. And he was NPP activist. He was my senior when I was at the psychology department and he was at the Political Science Department. When we were all doing our first degree. He was an NPP activist. He was a very active TESCON member. When he became the head of the department at the Political Science Department, when I came to do my PhD, he was the TESCON patron. So, an activist of NPP. They're not someone who remotely support NPP. He was involved in NPP's activities. The other person who is being elected, just the 2020 elections, He was a leading member of the NPP in Brown Half region. So when you have such individuals who are all NPP activists appointed to manage elections in this country, then people will have the worry that people are showing every day. Now, my uncle, the MP for Bali, asked a question. He asked the Electoral Commissioner why she has to do with over 20 military officers following her around at the expense of the state. She is not the first Electoral Commissioner we have had in this country. As a matter of fact, she will be the third Electoral Commissioner as far as this Fourth Republic is concerned. We had Dr. Afarijan. Yeah. I don't think that she ever moved with even a police officer. We had Charlotte Osei, who was moving with only one police officer. There was a day I went to the mall with my kids to buy items. I came out and then I saw her. Then when she was moving, I saw one police officer who was at even a distance without even a pistol. This woman moves with a huge battalion. In fact, it's a huge battalion. There's a popular proverb in the band. They are shouting that someone has stolen saltpeter. And in the entire market, only you started running away. People clearly would know who the thief is. What is the fear of this woman? And that's why Honorable Yusuf said, look, if you do things rightly, we are not saying do things to favor the NDC. If you do things as expected of you by the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana in a more transparent, fair, and equitable manner, if you do that, you don't even need a military man or a police officer to follow you. In any case, have we lost so much confidence in us, our police service, that you have a military, about 20, a full battalion of military officers following this man? But let me tell you, in all those countries I have stated, where the conduct of the managers of the electoral processes led to those countries plunging into chaos and anarchy, the security didn't protect them. The security didn't protect them. Don't underestimate people who have resolved to defend their democracy and their right. Don't underestimate those people. So what we are simply telling this woman, do things rightly. We don't have any problem at all with that. And we do know that, inshallah, President Mahama will be declared the winner of the elections. Look, it is not just the surveys that have been conducted. Everybody in this country can clearly tell that the direction we are moving is that of Addis. The ordinary man on the street of Accra knew the graduate unemployed, and when they formed Graduate Unemployed Association, yet you have a presidential candidate who lies without the fear of God. And sometimes he lies against even the facts. If you have Dr. Baumia who says that, oh, we have outperformed this government in any area, including the economy. And I said, okay, maybe economy, he may try to come with some propaganda. Then he says, jobs creation. When the statistical service itself put the unemployment rate in this country at 8.4% under the NDC. And today, the same statistical service, and in the budget you presented, unemployment is 14.7. You still look into those figures and say that you have performed better than the NDC in terms of the jobs you have created. So what we are simply saying is that the responsibility of the Electoral Commissioner is to ensure that we have free, fair, and transparent elections. And the fairness of the process does not begin with only the declaration of the results. Because she said yesterday that the reason why she goes with a huge, in fact, a full battalion or 2 battalion of military officers is because of the threats and the insult. Which Electoral Commissioner have they denigrated and insulted than Charlotte Osei? Which Electoral Commissioner in this country? All manner of names. Insults. But Charlotte Osei yet still did not move with a full battalion of police, let alone military officers. And again, the argument that is being made that we don't have any authority, we only declare results that are transmitted to us. So the 3 results you declared, who transmitted those results to you? Who transmitted those results to you? The 3 results, different results, you declared, who transmitted those results to you? Look, there's a popular saying in the Bani, that a troublesome child is not given birth to by just one woman. several women can give birth to troublesome children. And that is what they need to know. Ghanaians will do everything possible to protect this democracy. And if anybody thinks, and I told her yesterday, that this is not an elections to be rigged. This elections is not an elections to be rigged. And the NDC is not waiting and expecting that any court will declare the winner of the elections. We are going to win, and we would not have to even go to any court for any declaration of any elections results. Because elections are conducted at the polling stations, elections results are declared at the polling stations, and the collation is done in the presence of everybody, and nobody can attempt to change the results. And if any results that is transmitted to the electoral commissioner does not tally with the facts on the ground, we won't accept it. And I don't think anybody would accept that. Because we saw instances where they declare results and even change them. Results that were transmitted to her and her deputies, they had to change them because the one that was transmitted could not tally with the actual happenings on the ground when the NDC provided the evidence. So for me, I would think that, and the challenge we have as a party, a lot of our polling agents, in fact some of them, they think that I must be the polling agent even if I don't have the capacity to man the polls. So even when the party, you take a decision that because of ABCD, we need to get somebody who can appreciate this to do that, they won't agree. Sometimes, because of the resources that will be given to them. And as candidates, members of parliament, will also have a huge responsibility. That you know, with your constituency executives, which polling agents have the capacity to do that. Those who do not have, talk to them. Change them. Whatever benefits that come with any polling agents will be extended, will be given to them. And I think that if we are able to do this, I think some of these problems are problems that we can surmount. Another thing has to do with the responsibilities of candidates. Look, in Tamale Central, by 7 o'clock, we had our collated results. By 7 p.m., we had our collated results. So sometimes you don't sit back for national executives of the NDC to come and do the work for you. That is why you are the candidate. The president can be seen there. The national executive can come there. You, the candidate, and your constituency executive must also take that responsibility. It is not everything that you expect that some resources should come somewhere. Put in the necessary mechanisms in place to ensure. The unfortunate thing that I also observed, and I will land on this, Senna, a lot of us candidates, it's like the moment the parliamentary, parliamentary results are declared, we don't have time for the presidential results. And I shudder to think that occasioned some of these changes in the regional elections of the presidential results we had. Because the constitutional elections, the parliamentary elections are declared in the constituency at the coalition center. So at the end of the day, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed got this because it's just a total number. It doesn't have any 50 plus 1. The NPP candidate, Wawi, or what do they call it? He got this. So the moment they declare, the Murtala and his executive and his coalition officers who were there will all start packing and moving away. That also happened in many of the constituencies. So the moment you moved away, you don't have, even if you leave regional people to be there, but someone who was representing the NDC, not just the parliamentary elections, but both the parliamentary and the presidential at the constituency. After your parliamentary candidate is declared the winner, you need to be there. Because once you leave, they will have the opportunity to change the figures. So if they are able to change President Mahamad's figures in Tamale Central, Tamale South, Tamale North, Sanargu, Ododo, even if they take 1,000 or 200 votes, accumulate them, that's a huge vote. And that can lead to your presidential candidate losing the election. So I'm passionately appealing to all of us, including myself, that those we have elected as our polling agents in our various constituencies, they are not there to supervise the elections of we, the candidates, the parliamentary candidates alone. In fact, the biggest responsibility is to supervise that of the presidential. And those at the coalition center, once they declare the MP or the parliamentary candidate, the winner of the elections, don't pack your bag and baggage and leave. You need to remain there. Because we detected that in a lot of the constituencies, that's what they did. And that's why they introduced this regional coalition. Any other move that any of them make to deny the people of this country the right to elect who they want to be their president and their members of parliament won't be healthy. Appealing to their consciences, power and leadership is ordained by Allah and only Allah.